Well, hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you are all doing fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Let's see. Okay. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by. I have 2 channel memberships where I go live with my channel members every single week. Yes, I have the exclusive lives group that is a zhuzh only group. We only talk about success stories, tips, and tricks. We don't want circumstances. Okay? This is a zhuzh group. We don't want to be brought down by shit circumstances. Nobody wants to hear it. We want to be happy. We want to zhuzh. We want to be reminded of why we're doing this, why we are choosing to be new selves. Yes? Okay. If you join that group, I go live with them every single Tuesday at 9:30 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. I have the Friday group. I go live with them every single Friday at 9 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. That's the group where you can ask me specific things about your circumstances. Okay? That's the group. Yeah? If you join that hot seat group, you do get access to both channel memberships. Yes. Okay. If you want to work with me, there is a bit of a waiting list to work with me for regular coaching. However, there is the emergency coaching that's always available. Okay. And how to get in touch with me and all that fabulous information's in the drop box below. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. Okay. I'm on Clapper. Please join me. All the other stuff is in the drop box below, including my other channel, Kimberly's Other Life. I just want to skip all this and get right to it today. Who knew? This is going to be our reminder video. Number 1, before I even get into anything, let me stick the disclaimer in there that, listen, I stand by what I say, and that is we do not have to be perfect to manifest. This is never about perfection. Never, ever. Okay? And striving for perfection when manifesting is silliness. It's a waste of your time. Okay? It's a waste of your time. It's a stupid notch to grab for that you could be busy living life and loving everything around you. You could. You could be experiencing wonderful things instead of trying to be perfect. Just saying. All right? Coupled with that, I also stand by that I do not think that you can really do anything to ruin a manifestation. I know, shock horror, but I don't. I do think that the more often that we return to the state of consciousness of you having your desire, I think the more often we are returning to that, I do think that influences time. That's been my experience, keeping it real. And by quickly moving that time. Quickly. No. Does everybody's journey look exactly the same? No. I just feel like I got to say this in case we got anybody new watching. If you're new, I would love for you to subscribe and come back and see me. Okay. But those are the gentle reminders. However, I want you to look at the picture of you and your imagination, your mind, your consciousness, your subconsciousness. Every part of you is like a beautiful tree. It's like a tree. And when you are allowing yourself to marinate in things that don't feel good, for example, when we are manifesting a specific person and your specific person is not exactly the version of themselves that you are preferring in this moment, and you are spending time focusing on that you're not enjoying this version of them, and then spending time justifying why you should be allowed to be marinating on how they're not their perfect version. And let's just say maybe perhaps they have a habit you don't like. Maybe there's a specific habit they have and you would prefer that they not have that habit. Maybe that habit is getting in the way of your time with your specific person. Or at least that's what you think. That's what you're, experiencing in your 3D. Maybe they like to party too much. I'm just using whatever's coming to my mind. First of all, we always say feelings are valid. It's because they are. You're allowed to not like something. You're allowed to think, yeah, I'm not loving this habit because this habit is getting in the way of, our relationship, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, your feelings are valid. But relentlessly focusing on what you're not enjoying in your 3D, no matter what you're manifesting, you could be manifesting money, and maybe you're relentlessly focusing on how your bank account isn't the number you want it to be. And maybe bills are coming in. You're relentlessly focusing on how the bills are here. The bills are here. The bills are here. And oh my God, the money's not here yet. The money's still not here yet. The money hasn't manifested. What am I going to do? When is this going to end? When am I going to get what I want? When we are in that endless cycle of, I don't have what I want, I'm going to keep bitching about not having what I want. I'm going to keep focusing on what I don't like, what I want to change. What are you doing? What are you doing in that moment? You see, all of the things that you're not enjoying that are in your 3D reality are like having some busted ass twigs with no leaves on your tree. Busted ass dying branch on your tree. Where it would just be easier to snap that bitch off and get rid of it so we can flourish. Right? Or how about people when you got your sexy little gardens? Yeah. And the frickin' weeds start coming in your pretty little rose garden or whatever. Vegetable garden, your pumpkin garden. It doesn't matter. And the weeds start coming in. You're marinating in all the things you don't like. All the things you're afraid of might get in the way of your manifestation, or the fear of not being able to get the manifestation. Just all the things, every thought you can think of that implies you don't have it. It's not that, oh my God, that thought popped up. Oh my God, the weed popped up. That one weed isn't going to ruin everything. But when we just let that weed party on, and keep hanging out, and we keep thinking about how we don't like it, or we don't like what's going on in our manifestation world, right? We don't like what we're seeing in the 3D. It's like that weed. You're just leaving it there, but you keep staring at it, and you keep getting mad at it, and you keep getting frustrated at it. When it would have been just as easy to walk over to that goddamn weed and snatch a bitch out of the garden. It's the same thing when you're marinating on all the things you don't like, you're not happy with, haven't changed yet. All the time that you're taking to focus on the things you do not like, all you're doing is allowing more and more weeds to pop the hell up everywhere. And let's keep it real. Let's make it simple. It makes you feel like shit. And if it was your garden, it looks like shit. It doesn't feel good to keep pointing out the things you don't like. So let's get back to my example. So if say your person has a habit and you believe that habit is getting in the way of you being the most important thing to your specific person, your person making you a priority, your person, right? Treating you like you're my most important thing. You're the thing I can't live without. You're the person I want to be with. I want to spend all my time with you. That's what you want to experience, not their habit that you're not liking. All the time that you're spending focusing on how badly you want that habit to go away and how badly that habit is getting in the way of your precious time with your person, you're keeping it alive. You're allowing more weeds to come. You're allowing you to stay in the state of consciousness of you having an SP with a friggin' habit we don't like. That's all we're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. Usually what comes after something like that is the question, well, then, Kim, what the hell am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do in my reality If they've got something I don't like and it's bugging me, and I point blank see it getting in the way of me in that relationship, this is why I say it's never wrong to put the focus on being the version of yourself that has your manifestation and slapping a boundary down if necessary. And by slapping a boundary, I'm not saying you need to go out and have a damn argument with every person in your 3D reality, because you're all about setting your boundaries everywhere, because Kimberly said so. No, I'm saying, okay, you can use some of your own judgment. If you've addressed the habit and it's still happening, who are you being? Because chances are you're probably still focusing on it. And for some of you, you're focusing on it and you're focusing on how they keep choosing it over you. Then I'm sure the thoughts come in, well, is this ever going to change? Am I ever going to get what I want? And all this time, do you hear that? All these questions, all these thoughts. Who are you being? It's not possible for you to be the version of yourself. If you're new, state of consciousness is just version of self. Same thing. It is not possible for you to be the version of yourself that has the desire while focusing on everything you don't like or everything that you're seeing as something in the way. And hear me out why. Because if you are looking at your 3D and interpreting it a specific way, so keeping with the same example, you're looking at your 3D, you're interpreting as he puts this habit in front of me. He makes that his priority. He doesn't make me the priority. That couldn't possibly enter your mind unless you were resonating with the not being a priority. It rang true to you. It was true. It feels true to you that you're not a priority. Outside of logical, literal thinking, it rings true. You're seeing it. You're resonating with not being a priority. You're identifying as not a priority, period. Because if you were identifying as truly being a priority, and I know that sounds so damn harsh. I know it does. It was harsh for me to get that too. But if you were really choosing to be the version of yourself that truly knows that they're a priority to the person they love or to their SP or whatever words you want to use, that wouldn't ring true for you. And I know that's a gut punch. It can be, and it's not meant to be. I'm not trying to gut punch you. I'm saying, listen, we can't be offended. We can't be hurt by anything unless that very thing rings true to us. We resonate to it. A belief that aligns with it is alive and well with us in that moment. We wouldn't be able to perceive it as happening to us if there wasn't a part of our consciousness in that moment, version of self, consciousness, that thinks it's real, that thinks it's true, that believes that you could not be a priority. You cannot be offended by something unless there's something within self that believes it's possible. And again, back to the whole, this isn't about being perfect. I'm not perfect, okay? And things can bug me too in the 3D. But what I'm saying is if this is something that you've been manifesting, but you know truly, authentically, you are often triggered and annoyed, upset, or perceiving the 3D in a way that lines up with anything I just said, you know who you are dominantly being. You know what state you're dominantly in. And as defensive as I'm sure some of you want to be, because I was that person too. You know I'm right. And there's no way around that. We don't got to be perfect. We just got to spend more time in the state of not seeing things that way, of understanding that even unfun, unfavorable, stupid, shitty circumstances are still leading us to our outcome. It's not always easy to see that while you're living it, and I know that. But it's really only that difficult because you're vibrating with it. You're resonating with it. You're believing it is true. You're believing in being not a priority, for that example. You're believing in it. It's resonating. And you're believing that whatever it is that appears to be a priority over you, you're believing it as an obstacle, unmoving. And it's none of those things. Return to your decision of who you want to be. If you're new here, whenever you hear me say, return to your decision, I am referring to the state of consciousness where you have your desire. So for the example in this video, we talked a lot about being a priority. You would be returning to the state of consciousness or the version of self that knows that she or he is a damn priority and is only a priority to the people in their life. And if it appears that SP isn't showing up that way, I'm choosing to believe that that's not a thing anymore. I'm letting that go. I'm not going to fight and argue and barter against something else in the 3D reality. I'm going to ask myself, what would it feel like if I actually was the priority to my person? What would it feel like? And for some of us, that answer is going to be, I don't even fucking know, because they've never shown up acting that way, so I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So then don't think you're a specific person. Think in general. What if the person I'm in a relationship with made me a priority? What would it feel like to be someone's number one? What would it feel like? What would it feel like? It'd feel good. It should also feel, in my opinion, like, oh, damn right I am a priority. Damn right I am. Of course I am. Of course I'm the priority to that person. Of course I am. This whole video wasn't about being a damn priority in general. This video is about realizing when we focus relentlessly on the things we do not want, we are asking for more and more fucking weeds to be growing into our scenarios. And that's not what we want. We want peace. We want fulfillment. We want what we're manifesting. Hence, why we have the free will to be any version of ourselves, despite what our senses are telling us in regards to our 3D reality. So who are you focused on being? The version of you who still doesn't have what you want? Or the version of you who comfortably knows, oh yeah, I have it, and everything I'm experiencing is 100% leading me to that full fulfillment of it. I choose to be that person. That's who I return to. The version of me who has whatever the hell she wants, whenever the hell she wants. And it feels much better to identify as that. Much better. You ought to try it. So on that note, I love this time of year. I love it. I'm in a 24/7 good mood. Even when I was sick, I was in a good mood. This is my happiest time of year. I hope it's a happy time of year for you. But what I will tell you, that little sentence, I hope it is for you too, is not the open doorway for you to get into a victim state and start listing all the reasons why it's not a happy time for you. It's not an open invitation for that, because that's not going to help you get out of it. Okay? Now, granted, I'm not usually very picky about what you put in the comments. I don't care. But we're saying it today. If you've got a actual circumstance that you feel is preventing your happiness, I want you to know it's temporary. Whatever it is, it's temporary. This moment is temporary. It's temporary. If you're missing loved ones, if we're losing loved ones, if something catastrophic is happening, this is a temporary moment. And you won't feel like this forever. But taking the time to put it in the comments right now in this moment is a missed opportunity for you to see the bigger picture, that you're still going. You're still going, moving, and grooving to the place where you got your desires, despite what that 3D looks like right now, no matter what it is. So on that note, choose to be the you who is living the life they want to be, not the you. Focus on all the weeds, because we're just going to keep getting them. We don't want them, right? All right, for real. On that note, I'll see you tomorrow.